Hey everyone, welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're diving into a story that probably stopped your scroll, the passing of TikToker Taylor Rousseau Grigg. Even if you don't live on social media, you likely saw the headlines.
It's a tough one, for sure. A young life ended way too soon. But it also brings up some big questions about what happens behind the scenes in the influencer world.
Exactly. We've got news articles, family posts, even details about a GoFundMe that popped up. Our mission today: go beyond just the what and get into the why this story matters.
It's about understanding the full picture, right? We see the highlight reels, but what's the human side of all this?
Okay, let's unpack this. The news broke on October 5th, but it took a few days for the cause of death to be released. It wasn't straightforward, was it?
Not at all. Taylor passed away on October 4th from complications linked to asthma and Addison's disease. A severe asthma attack seems to have started a chain reaction, ultimately leading to her death.
It's heartbreaking, you know. It reminds you that behind those seemingly perfect online lives, people are dealing with real stuff.
Absolutely. These conditions can be much more serious than people realize. It's easy to forget the invisible battles people fight.
And it makes you think about the pressure to project this image of everything's amazing, especially on social media. Did her followers even know what she was going through? What do you think?
That's the heart of it, isn't it? The curated nature of online life. There's this pressure to present a specific image, to only show the good.
Exactly. It's not just influencers, though, right? It's all of us. I know I've caught myself downplaying my own struggles, even with close friends.
It's a natural human instinct to want to present a certain face to the world, but building walls only makes it harder to connect.
Speaking of connection, can we talk about Taylor's husband, Cameron? His strengths during this is just remarkable. How do you even begin to process something like this?
His Instagram tribute was incredibly raw and honest. He didn't shy away from the grief, calling her death sudden and unexpected. But what really struck me was his decision to highlight her generosity, even in that moment.
Right. He shared that Taylor was an organ donor and that she remained in the hospital to allow for those donations. Talk about a tough choice to make when you're facing such a devastating loss.
It speaks volumes about both of them, don't you think? Their compassion and commitment to making a difference, even in the face of unimaginable grief, is powerful.
And he didn't try to sugarcoat their situation either. He mentioned they were struggling financially because of Taylor's health and didn't have insurance. It's a reminder that even those who seem successful online can be struggling behind the scenes.
It challenges our whole definition of success, doesn't it? We see wealth or online fame and think that equals happiness. But Cameron's honesty reminds us that real life is messy, even when you're in the public eye.
And that's where things take another interesting turn. He set up a GoFundMe to cover expenses, which makes sense given the situation. But it was Taylor's family's message on the page that really got to me.
Oh, absolutely. They thank everyone for the support and express their grief, of course, but they also use it as a platform to highlight Taylor's character.
It's like they were saying, yes, this is a tragedy, but Taylor was so much more than this.
Exactly. They wanted people to know about her desire to leave a positive mark on the world.
Which leads us to the honor walk, right? This tradition is both beautiful and heartbreaking. Have you ever experienced one firsthand?
I haven't, but I've heard how powerful they can be. It's a moment to celebrate a life, even in the face of death.
Her sisters described it as a testament to Taylor's desire to keep giving, even in her final moments.
It really makes you think about the legacy we leave behind, doesn't it? How our actions can have a ripple effect, even after we're gone.
Absolutely. But before we dive too deep into that, I think we need to unpack Taylor's life as an influencer. That's a huge part of what makes this story so complex.
You're right, it's easy to get caught up in the emotion of it all. But understanding the pressures and realities of the world she navigated is crucial.
It's like we see the glamorous side of influencing, but what about the pressure to keep up appearances, especially when you're dealing with something like a health crisis?
Exactly. Cameron mentioned their financial struggles due to Taylor's health and the lack of insurance. It makes you wonder how many others are facing similar situations.
It's almost like a cruel irony. You're projecting this image of success, but that very pressure can make it harder to be open about your struggles when you need help the most. Have you ever felt that pressure to present a certain image online?
It's definitely something we all grapple with, the curated life versus reality. But for influencers, it's their livelihood, their entire public persona tied to this image of perfection.
And the algorithms don't help, right? It's all about engagement, which often means showcasing the highlight reel rather than the messy, complicated truth.
It's a system that can incentivize silence. Even when someone might desperately need support, it makes you question the sustainability of this whole influencer model, doesn't it?
It really does. It's like, where's the line between sharing your life and commodifying it? And how do you navigate that when you're also dealing with something as serious as a health issue?
It's a difficult question with no easy answers. There's a human cost to this curated online world that we often overlook. Taylor's story really brings that to light, don't you think?
Absolutely. It makes you wonder how many other influencers are struggling in silence, afraid to break the illusion of perfection.
And it's not just influencers, is it? It's the expectation to present a certain way online. That pressure is everywhere.
You're right. It's something we all feel to some extent, this need to curate our lives for likes and comments. But Taylor's story serves as a powerful reminder that behind every profile is a real person dealing with real life stuff.
It's a call for greater empathy, don't you think? Both for the influencers we follow and for each other. We never know what someone is going through.
So true. We've talked about the tragic circumstances of Taylor's passing, the pressure cooker of influencer culture, the need for empathy, vulnerability. But there's another layer to this whole story that I think is worth unpacking: legacy. It's something that keeps coming up, right? What do you make of that?
It's woven throughout this entire story, isn't it? From her decision to be an organ donor to her family's focus on her character. It's clear her legacy is about so much more than just followers or likes.
It's about the impact she had on people's lives, the ripple effect of her kindness and generosity, the way she chose to live even when facing incredible challenges.
It makes you wonder, what will people say about us when we're gone? Will it be about our online presence or the way we made others feel?
It's a powerful question, and not one we like to think about too often. But Taylor's story really drives it home, doesn't it? It's not about the number of followers you have, but the depth of the connections you make.
Absolutely. It's a good reminder for all of us to check in with ourselves. What are we putting out there? Are we living in a way that aligns with the legacy we want to leave?
It's so easy to get caught up in the comparison game, especially online. But this story is a good reminder that everyone is fighting their own battles, visible or not. It makes you want to put down your phone and have a real conversation with someone you know.
I agree. Real connection, real conversations, those are the things that truly nourish us. It's about being present in our lives, appreciating the moments we have, and extending grace to ourselves and others.
We've covered a lot today: the ups and downs of influencer life, the pressure to present a certain image, the power of vulnerability. But ultimately, I think Taylor's story is a call to action for all of us.
It's a call to be more mindful, both online and offline, to cultivate genuine connection, offer support, and embrace our shared humanity.
And to remember that everyone has a story. So the next time you're scrolling through social media, take a moment to remember the person behind the screen. They're navigating their own challenges, just like you. Maybe a little kindness and understanding is what they need most.
Beautifully said. We never know the impact even a small act of kindness can have.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. It was a heavy one, but I think there are valuable lessons here for all of us.
I agree. It's a reminder to live with intention, to choose kindness, and to make our time count.
And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder this. What kind of legacy do you want to build? Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.